Oh, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are up at Salt Fleet Conservation Area. There is a bit of mist in the air today, so I thought this would be a great place to come up and see if we can find any trees and or any landscape that is a little bit separated by the mist from the background. Today we're going to work on framing and composition. As we're stuck on a walk path right now / bike path, that's why I'm kind of on the side a little bit here. I want to make sure that we don't have very far to move. So the framing has to be perfect. We have to make sure we double, triple even check everything in the frame. Every aspect of it has to belong. Today it's really going to stand out if something just kind of jumps out at you. Now around us, everything looks really pristine. There are some greens, a bit of yellows are starting to come through, as well as a tiny bit of orange. So this should make the backdrops kind of pop to life. They must have come through recently and trimmed the around the perimeter here, so we have a bit of a better view. Hopefully it knocks down some of that some of the excess around us, so it kind of cleans up the composition, because I don't want any just random reeds sticking into the framing, as that will absolutely ruin it. But there are also some purple flowers dotted every now and then, so it adds a really pop of contrast to it, and they almost blend in with the fog / mist. There is some mist overlaying in the woods right now. The sun hasn't quite risen yet. We still have about 10 minutes or so till sunrise. So I'm gonna see if I can find a nice little composition with that beautiful mist in the background. When I was riding up this morning, I was overlooking the city and the scenery was so beautiful. The clouds were just streaming past. And I was thinking of taking a picture, but as soon as I looked through the camera frame, I had to go all the way up to 30 seconds, first of all. There's no image stabilization, so it would have been, I would have to pull the tripod out, I've done the whole 9 yards. But the problem is all the LED lights, every time you look through a picture, all of the LED lights from the city, you always get these kind of really bright sunspots. I don't really like them as much. Canadian geese are making sure their presence is heard. Making sure my lens is nice and clean. I had to remember earlier too, I had to clean that camera off, so it's funny, you'd think about once, you're like, you know what, I better do it again just in case. The mist is like billowing and moving around right now. I'll zoom in and show you guys. There is some mist coming off the ground right now, and it just gives everything this soft, painterly, muted kind of aspect and look. And it's really captivating. So I'm just snapping a couple of quick photos around right here because the mist is only in one location. And there's just some reeds kind of in the middle that I focused in on. And then the trees, the backdrop are a little bit falling out of, there's a lot of birds landing over there. They keep hearing it. All right. I just took a couple of quick snapshots before the mist disappears. You just sort of see it kind of like billowing over that way and disappearing. That is so cool. Every once in a while you hear a very loud thunk sound. And it's either a firearm or somebody is hitting something every once in a while. Very difficult to tell what it is. But here's at least what all the mist looks like. It's really cool. And especially with this in the backdrop, the sky have a few, just a perfect couple of trails of clouds almost, perfectly parallel down. You see a bit of orange still in the sky as the sun is just about to peak up. All right, so I've just took my jacket off. It's starting to warm up a little bit right now. It's plus 18 out. The sun is just starting to rise over there. I want to see if I can find an area where it's just peeking over. Oh, yeah. The sun is just coming up right now at the perfect spot. I just could not resist this. Completely an impromptu as well. So 1/25 of a second at f11. The sun is just peeking up over the top of the trees right now. So I wanted to see if I could incorporate at least one photograph with it in. I'm gonna have to really work on the shadows though, because I'm at f11 at 1/25 of a second, ISO 100, and the sunlight right now is just starting to disperse majority of the mist. Now there is still a little bit behind me over there too, but the foreground is a little bit messy. There's kind of like reeds and a bunch of other cattails, I believe they're called. They're everywhere, and I can't really get over them enough. If I could maybe find a low enough region of them, but I don't think so. I'd love to do a panel up here as well. This would be a perfect spot for that. All right, first let's get you situated. All right, this is the composition I finally decided on. So we have a beautiful, nice tree almost completely by itself, separated from all of the stuff behind it. And you see a little bit of the reeds right on the foreground in front of it, the beautiful subject of the tree, and then everything else behind it. Now I'll show you the scene. We actually have two trees that are kind of close, so I had to perfectly kind of move in the middle so that way I could cut one of them out. As behind it, we have beautiful space to help really throw that background out of focus. And those two trees, though they do kind of look interesting, and later on I'm gonna try a 16:9 with all three of them. For the first one, I just wanna focus on the main subject, that one right there. See the mist in the background just makes it look so just dreamy almost. So we're with the full frame, I can almost isolate it, but it just sort of looks a little bit too busy. Whereas if I punch into the 1.6, I can then recenter it a little bit. Still giving a bit more on the right side where there's a little bit more mist. Oh, we can even slow it down a bit more. So 1/450th of a second, f1.8. So I just got focused That's perfect. We're gonna pull it back out. We're at 1/400th of a second at f2. ISO 100. Wow, that mist is almost intensifying right now. It's like lifting off the ground and it's like obscuring everything. Looks so incredible. Now this is the opposite direction that we were facing. This is what it looks like over here. And that, oh, if only I could get a photo of just that. Now, I'm gonna try a couple of different orientations. The mist right now is really starting to lift off, so we're gonna try to get another one over here of the tree. This one calls for a vertical orientation. All right, this is gonna be really difficult to see, but with the sun popping up right now, look at all that mist just pulling up through the air. You actually see it as layers popping up. I've never seen that. That looks so cool. You actually see through like different layers of mist. So I'm gonna focus in on the backdrop. I don't know if this might look a little too painterly, but I wanted to see if I could try one more shooting into the sun, but you can't really see anything as it's super over brightened right now. So I'll insert a picture of that one right now so you guys can see it. All right. Now the sun is starting to pop up a lot more now and it's starting to become really bright. So the mist is starting to change a little bit behind this one I was doing first too. Okay, I gotta stay focused on this tree. We're trying a vertical orientation this time. All right, so right before the mist, wow, it's already clearing over there. So right before it disappears, we're gonna see if we can get one more of this tree. Nope, that one branch is just sticking out a little bit too much. So we're at F11, 1/30th of a second. I'm gonna compensate it to make it a little bit brighter by half a stop. Don't know whether or not that might be a mistake, but we're gonna just a little bit over. There's not as much sun over here. Now, I did want to see if I could incorporate the rest of these trees. Flippin' heck, you spend more time trying to level off this stupid thing than anything else. They're all like really fine little micro adjustments. Wow, the mist is really still clinging on here. With all the streaks in the sky too from the clouds. Looks beautiful. I could not have asked for better weather today. Even with getting bitten alive as usual by mosquitoes, it honestly does not matter. Today, the weather was just phenomenal. I love those trees you see right there. And then there's the layer of mist behind it, then the separation of the much larger forested trees behind that. And just that layer of mist coming off in front top of those reeds. And you see just that little pond right there with the ducks swimming all around there. That is incredible. seriously enjoy that. I'm gonna go over there a little bit more down the trail, somewhat more, and see if we can find any more compositions. I've never actually explored this far over, so before we leave, I'm probably gonna put my drone up and just fly around and have a look around. Well, there is still a little bit of mist here, but the sunlight right now is starting to become overpowering. So we're gonna ride down here a little bit of ways, down around the corner there, see where it takes us. And if nothing else, today was a gorgeous day for the mist. It's funny here in Canada, we only really get mist when it's the changing from fall and or spring. We don't really get very much. All right, I'll make sure I don't go too fast again. Figuring around 20 per should be. It was good last time for you guys to be able to hear me. Although here the ground is a little bit more loose, so there will be a lot more noise than usual. Oh, look at the mist over here. Unfortunately though, there are vehicles passing by right there on the road. Oh, of course there's a cell phone tower and a billboard. Ugh. As I was riding along, I found this little tiny pond that's basically right beside the road. And there's one other area where I think I might be able to get away from taking it from a bit of a cleaner angle. The only thing is from this side at least, you can actually pretty much cut out most of the road and everything else. And then we'll walk around to the other side and look at that. All right. So we walked around from the other side all the way over to here, just to see how the angle looks from this side. Now I'm just thinking about composition and framing and if this will work or not. Because there is still definitely some mist. The little bit of mist still, their shadows are still keeping it around. So I figure we'll throw up the tripod quick, see if we can get a picture of this one. Now, the water is pretty much dead calm, so I'm not worried about shutter speed and what it should be, whether or not I need to speed it up a little bit or not. But I do want the background to be out of focus a bit more. So I'll probably start with f4, maybe f4.5. I don't know if we'll go all the way down to f2. So my main subject is there's a bit of rocks and some trees over there. Oh, we got some ducks moving around too. We got to give that some time to settle down too. But my main subject is going to be the rocks in that tree over there with just a bit of the mist behind it. All right, get my focus. Okay, there is a fair amount of shake in the tripod legs. So because I have it at kind of a precarious height / length right now, giggity, I'm going to set it to a 10-second timer. So we are now at 1/250th of a second at f5.6, ISO 100. 10-second timer again, just in case there's any vibration or shake in the tripod. I had to extend it to its full height to be able to see over some of the reeds. Now they are still in the picture, so I'm gonna go see if we can just go into a 1/6 crop and whether or not that removes some of it. Another 10-second countdown. All right, so we got the one photograph from this spot. I do like how the sunlight is sort of streaming through at different spots, and it's kind of highlighting different areas in the backdrop. The water is still perfectly in shadowed, so you can still kind of see in the reflection what the trees look like, kind of reversed. And it's really cool to see, especially as the sunlight is changing, it's altering. There's more beams coming through as it's cutting through different trees and it's kind of illuminating different spots. So I want to sit here for a little bit. I don't really know how long. I'm probably gonna have to recharge this camera a little bit anyway. So I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes, have a little snack, and see how the composition changes. Stay with me. So a farmer is working over in a field a little bit beyond yonder. So I can hear his tractor putting away, a little diesel. So we're gonna go back around this way, see if the light has changed in any of the other compositions. But before that, we may ride down the rest of this way just to see what's over there and if there is anything worth looking at. One thing I'm glad for today is there's nothing really I need to clone out. Nothing massive, at least, that I need to remove from the picture. I hate it when you see cell phone towers or kind of like really large electrical towers. It really detracts from nature photography. Now, of course, if it's too prevalent, I have to leave it in, obviously, because there's cables and a bunch of other stuff. So depending on how many pixels there are, how severe it is. All right, well, let's get going. Oh, okay, well, let's head back then. We gotta learn. Well, today was a great, we're just waiting for cars to drive by. They're rather loud. Well, today was a great day for photography. We were able to ride around. We were a little bit limited by being stuck on the actual walk path, but it does kind of help you. Even just moving your camera a few inches left and or right, or even just taking 1 or 2 paces, you can absolutely change the composition immensely. You can subtract things that are just kind of eyesores, and or if there's too much space on one side, you can kind of balance it out a little bit easier. Today with the mist, it was able to add a great layer of separation. So we were able to actually isolate the subjects a little bit more. All right, well, if you guys liked the video today, go down in the description, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you guys again next week for some more great landscape photography. Have a good one.